Howdy, welcome back to the Addicted Motors YouTube channel. I'm back at Chesterfield Auto Parts for another junkyard walkthrough. It's been a while. It's a beautiful day at junk. So let's see what we got here. This is the sale lot. Fairly reasonable cars for sale at cheap prices, and this is impressive. I don't even know what it is. What is this? Is this a probe? Yep, this is a Ford Probe with a wild body kit on it, and it is $1,400. I mean, in op, not even 30,000 miles. Is it manual? Nope, it's automatic. $2,000 Audi A4, automatic, leather, miles, all-wheel drive, 2-liter turbo, E-type, British Racing Green, insanely peeled paint, kind of like mine. I guess I can't talk shit about the paint. And it's running for some reason. It's on. VA cars for life. I wonder if, wonder how broken it was at one point. But $2,500. Needs a door handle. That's probably why the window's down. Battery tie down. Check engine lights on. Brake lights on. Out of gas. 151,000 miles. But this could be yours. Your next favorite project. I'm not even looking at the other ones, but these two are making our way through the junkyard, walking slow, looking at all the smashed up Altimas as we go. Like every other third car is an Altima. There's a TSX here. Don't usually see these after they've been killed, but this one's here. The motor's MIA, but car's here. Protege Type S. I recognize the wheels right off the bat. These were fun little 2-liter hot hatches. Back in the day, they are stick. They've got great interiors. No one took the engine or anything yet. But, you know, back in the early 2000s, they were a good performance option, honestly. Pretty cool little cars. These 90s, early 2000s interiors really do hold up when they're not completely baked and ruined. Thing's real, yeah. This thing scoots. Phew. This Altima didn't even make it off the lot. Looks like it died on the test drive. 1,000 down, probably. Old Haley Automotive. Buy here, pay here special. That's a good sign. So this is a 3.3 liter Xterra, non-supercharged. And now the thing about Xterras is they've got a following of a very small amount of people. And those people are very adamant that they're good cars, but it's the only 4x4 body-on-frame truck that did not take off in value or pricing during COVID. So that should mean something in the long-term scheme of things. You know, every other boxy early 90s, early 2000s 4x4 took off, except for the Xterra. It's got kind of a disco roof. Maybe that's what they were going for. All right, here's the custom paint job. C240. Is it manual? Some cars you gotta check. Ooh, this one might have been manual, seeing how the gearbox is removed. Again, one of those cars people don't know were made in a 6-speed transmission, but it was. And for the guys that know, that setup is valuable. Old 740 Li Toaster Strudel edition. Looks like she had a little bit of a fire. I don't know if it was the car that caught on fire or something near the car, but she's pretty toasted. Looks like a bunch of the windows and whatnot were smashed out for the fire. It has the phone. Somebody probably wants that. Maybe I'll come back and snag that. But yeah, she's chooched. Don't see a lot of white 7 Series though, so if someone's looking for some body panels, well, it's too bad, there's not much left. So we all know the PT Cruiser is one of the worst cars ever made, except for the convertible 2.4 liter turbo manual one, which is more valuable than any type of E-Type. But this takes the cake even farther. It is finished in gold and has the stick-on throwback wood paneling. Didn't really save this poor rig. Oof, man, what the hell? This thing got ruined. But yeah, she's a gem. And these things are like 20, 25 years old now, which is kind of crazy. It's like, yeah, airbag deployment, but what a sight to see. What a thing. So I saw this and had to run over a little bit of a mismatch here. So this is a W16 300 SD. And I originally thought it had Euro bumpers, but I think it just has the US spec top molding and the crash bumpers removed. But man, it's like this kind of Bahama gold. Can't tell if this is cloth interior, a period Sony tape deck. I might have to grab that. That is wildly awesome. Not cloth interior. It's eaten by mice a little bit, but this thing's pretty wild. It's a shame that the cluster's gone. I think I know who comes and takes all of those, but this color does seem to be fairly original. Let's see what's in the back. I mean, this thing is just eaten. I'm not sure what, maybe these door cards might be worth someone's time, but there's the old 300 5-cylinder. Yeah, it's not, it's definitely not a Euro car. There's the rear bumpers missing, but pretty interesting to see these in the flesh, just because these are too old, I think, for your average junkyard customer to really take advantage of the usable parts. You have to really be an enthusiast looking for this kind of stuff to stumble upon and take advantage of this kind of parts. Here's another one, Mitsubishi Expo van. I just saw, I think the drive did some pieces on these about how interesting and kind of quirky they are. Cool little, I don't know, I think it's a 4-cylinder, yeah, 4-cylinder. They had all-wheel drive, manual, turbo editions. But all these cars, I mean, the interiors and whatnot really hold up. This one's got only 132,000 miles, cloth seats, very Honda-esque interior. Back seats that move back and forth. I think it even had, yeah, it's a 3-row little MPV minivan thing. And it's a shame that actually had some pretty good interior and some good paint, but it's probably scrap. Who am I kidding? All right, here's the next one. So it looks like an 05 or 04 L322 BMW motored Tonga green L322. Now, the thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, is look at this interior. It comes with jumper cables, but it's got green seats, man. And they are in pretty good condition. Somebody had been here previously and told me that they were not in good condition. I beg to differ, sirs and gentlemen. That's in pretty good condition to me. Just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Too bad they don't have the green mats. But yeah, a lot of usable parts here. Don't know what killed it. There's some of the wheels over there. Might prove useful for somebody. Yeah, even the rear seats aren't god awful. So, you know, some things to be salvaged here. The taillights and everything are gone. You know, when these things hit the junkyard, you can never get in the back because it's electronically actuated. I guess you have to bring 12 volts with you and see if you could kind of jump it to gain access. But yeah, the green door cards and everything on this, I like it. So another little known, well, not little known, even if you know cars, you know, enthusiast pick is this XC90. It is green, and not the dark green that I usually see these in. It's a lighter, interesting green. And it also, again, it's got the V8. It's got the Yamaha V8 in it. I can't remember what the displacement was. That was also featured in the S80 or whatever, the sedan as well. Makes about 300 horsepower, still front-wheel drive based setup that has the Holodex all-wheel drive system. But these things were good for the most part. They weren't incredibly fast. I've driven a couple of them back in the day, probably 10 years ago, when they were just kind of used cars. Just, I put my foot down. It wasn't didn't really give me the feel. Again, Volvo power is very muted. It's very linear and didn't provide any type of interesting power delivery, so I passed on it. But, you know, they exist. Transmissions, I think, are made of glass. I've been corrected about the later years, but, you know, still something interesting if you're looking to pick something up. Also, the transmissions cost a lot of money if they do go. So again, this is another odd one. This is the second Sequoia in the yard. Now, I don't usually see Toyotas in here. When they do, they have to be totaled pretty bad because the community likes to fix these things back up. This one looks like it was hit pretty hard, but there's probably a lot of good engine bits, coil packs and whatnot. Radiators chooched, but a lot of things can be salvaged on this one. It looks like in the middle of some type of paint. Probably didn't have insurance and whatnot. Airbags are definitely deployed, but you know, this is actually full of a lot of good parts for someone who's in the market. Tail lights are obviously gone, but oh, no, there's one of them. Kind of comes with the oh, interesting. Maybe that's a secondary radiator. It looks kind of new, but it's interesting to see them hitting end of life. Right, there's a lot of these cars that have just finally hit end of life, and even though they were remarked as cars that go forever, it hits a certain point in time where I can't do it. It's too much. I think it's 4.8 X5. These things were totaled. Like, this 3-row? Huh. I guess you get a 3-row X5. Interesting. And another 0405 L322 BMW engine. This one's black. For some reason, the 4.4 Jag engine ones just haven't made it to the yards yet. This one doesn't have an awesome green interior, but it does have some factory black carpets in it, and it has the wheels. I don't know what the wheels are. I guess they chuck the wheels in. So in a junkyard, they have to pull the gas tank or at least drain it. So it really leads to an odd kind of smattering of things. Any wheel caps? That handle's gone. Oh man, yeah. This thing didn't see a very happy life or demise, but you know, usually they have a shit ton of miles on them, so no one ever said they don't hold up long term. So I lost audio here, but this is I think it's an 89 Sterling 825. Also shares a platform, I believe it's like an Acura Legend or something like that. It's got a Honda motor, and they didn't sell very well in the States. I think it also is the same thing as like a Rover. I don't know the designation, but it's something sold in the UK. Just never popular here in the States, kind of a luxury knockoff thing. Somehow the Brits made this Japanese car worse. But yeah, it's here in the junkyard, and there's not a single person probably in Richmond that has one of these and needs parts. So a bit unfortunate, but interesting nonetheless. Oh man, the stuff that they end up with. I mean, I can't imagine someone's taking too much parts off this stuff, but it's here. Must have been a pain in the ass. Now, here's what's left of a camper van. Looks like it survived an episode of Jackass. I don't know, this is a Chevy, so this could be a 350 or some type of 100 horsepower big block something. Amazingly, the last inspection sticker was 17, so who knows when it got exploded. All right, so I thought I was done, but here's some more. Here is a 90 XJ6. Man, these are just like the yard car of America, right? Every older or younger gentleman that buys one of these, either for cheap or not cheap or has had it forever, they just end up sunbaked in some guy's yard. And then they end up here because like this one, you know, it violates, you can't have a rotting car sitting on your property or under a tree or something that needs to move for certain reasons. So they get sequestered to the junkyard, and there's really not a lot of people that are going to the junkyard looking for parts off these because no one's keeping these running anymore. So kind of a shame they don't do it for me personally, but you know, it's here, and I'm not even gonna say it's unfortunate because They're not that great. Sorry for you XJ6 fans out there. Yeah, and just to confirm, like, the engine and everything is complete because nobody needs any of this. All right, LS430, I'll take it, right? 4.3. I mean, these aren't rare. This is like an 04 or 05, but they go forever. They don't usually end up in a junkyard. They're rear-wheel drive, so the drifty boys get a hold of them. Once they figure out what they are and trash them, then that's it. Then they're done. But very similar looking engine configuration to the 4.7 of the Land Cruiser Tundra Sequoia family. So, you know, good one maintained. So this one caught my eye as well. It's an old Cadillac limo, DeVille or something. And it's funny that these even end up in here. I wonder if that's some part of the junkyard ruling as far as how they have to operate, as it has to sit here for X amount of days. I don't believe anyone has taken those parts off. They probably weren't here when the car got here. Maybe. I mean, it could be worth a couple bucks, but it seems like it's more of a pain in the butt just to deal with and move around and scrap than it would be to just go ahead and scrap her. Oh, look, the North Star is blown. All right, so that's going to wrap up this video. Again, just another quick walkthrough of the Chesterfield Auto Parts junkyard inventory. If you'd like to see, you know, what is currently sitting at most North American junkyards, it's a pretty good idea. There was nothing groundbreaking there as far as things that I needed, but I like to stop every once in a while. Some people go to the golf club, I go to the junkyard, you know, to each his own. So we do these every once in a while. I haven't done one recently just because it's been so cold. But again, still always searching for that another unicorn D1 to find. And that's going to probably wrap it up for this video. I'm at the shop now. We're going to film another one. So stay tuned if you want to find out what's going to happen with some of our auction LR3s that I'm trying to revive. So we're going to do that right now. Check it out in the next video.